is your AI briefing for June 17th, 2026, with 12 stories. Story 1. Millions of copyrighted songs were fed to AI music generators. Now there's proof. The Atlantic built searchable databases confirming millions of copyrighted songs used to train AI music generators, letting researchers and rights holders verify specific tracks and compare provenance claims. The databases let labels and publishers match training datasets to individual works instead of relying on broad estimates. That evidence strengthens licensing disputes and could pressure AI music firms to disclose source catalogs. Great. Now the training set has receipts. The Atlantic's database turns copyright hand-wringing into a searchable spreadsheet of who got fed into the machines. Story 2. Critical Copilot vulnerability allowed hackers to steal 2FA code from users. Microsoft Copilot accounts were vulnerable to search leak, letting attackers automate extraction and sealing of 2FA codes, demonstrating a concrete LLM security failure mode that bypasses existing protections. Search leak exploited Copilot's ability to fetch and repackage data, allowing attackers to script the theft of one-time authentication codes from live conversations. The flaw showed that model-mediated workflows can undermine security even when the underlying account protections remain intact. Search leak proves Copilot security was theater. Attackers can automate 2FA theft, and Microsoft's protections lose to one clever prompt chain. The Story 3. Alibaba is building Qwen Robot, the operating system for the robot economy. Alibaba is developing Qwen Robot as an embodied AI operating layer for robots, aiming to standardize perception-to-action workflows and deepen its Qwen ecosystem beyond text into real-world control. Qwen Robot would let Alibaba ship reusable control primitives for navigation, grasping, and task execution across different robot hardware. It could also anchor developer tooling and enterprise deployments around a single Qwen-based stack. Alibaba's robot economy pitch is just Qwen trying to escape chatbox gravity, and the real winner is Alibaba's ecosystem lock-in before any robot actually ships. Story 4. Unlocking UK house building with AI-accelerated planning. The UK government is partnering with Google DeepMind to prototype an AI planning system that targets faster housing decisions by accelerating local plan and development assessments. The prototype will help planners scan maps, policy documents, and application files to flag conflicts and required evidence faster than manual review. Officials expect it to reduce backlogs that delay new homes and infrastructure approvals. This is less AI unlocking housing than Whitehall outsourcing planning bottlenecks to a Google demo, with local councils still stuck on the actual approvals. Story 5. Pentagon boasts of using AI to write reports mandated by Congress. The Pentagon says 1.5 million personnel use generative AI to draft Congress-mandated reports, raising oversight stakes as AI-generated text flows into formal reporting pipelines. The AI tools are being used to assemble first-draft language for statutory reporting rather than merely summarize data. That creates accountability questions when machine-generated text reaches lawmakers with minimal human editing. When the Pentagon brags about AI drafting Congress-mandated reports, oversight becomes autocomplete and accountability gets buried in generated prose. Story 6. Leaked financial docs show OpenAI is losing billions of dollars a year. Audited documents leaked by internal sources indicate OpenAI's revenue growth has been eclipsed by accelerating R&D and other expenses, driving multi-billion-dollar annual losses and tightening runway risk for stakeholders. The leaked files reportedly show expenses climbing faster than revenue as OpenAI pours cash into research, infrastructure, and model development. That spending pattern puts pressure on investors and customers who depend on the company's ability to keep funding frontier AI work. OpenAI's audited losses dwarf its revenue growth, which is great news for lawyers, bankers, and compute vendors, not for anyone buying the AGI miracle story. Story 7. Equinix collaborates with Cisco and NVIDIA to deploy secure AI factories across global data center footprint. Equinix, with Cisco and NVIDIA, expands its Presidio lab to deploy Cisco Secure AI Factory powered by NVIDIA in multiple global data centers, accelerating pilots to production via partner-led architectures and live testing. The expanded lab gives customers a place to validate secure AI infrastructure with Cisco networking and NVIDIA compute before buying at scale. It also extends Equinix's role from colocation provider to deployment partner for regulated enterprises. Equinix, Cisco and NVIDIA packaged a lab as acceleration, because nothing says production ready like more partner logos and a faster path to pilot purgatory. Story 8. ThoughtWorks launches AgentWorks to govern and run enterprise AI agents across any cloud. ThoughtWorks launched AgentWorks to give enterprises a single governed control plane for running AI agents across any cloud, reducing agent sprawl and aligning execution with risk and AI spend controls. AgentWorks centralizes policy enforcement, observability, and lifecycle management so agents can be controlled consistently across heterogeneous environments. That reduces duplicated controls for security, finance, and platform teams that are already facing rapid agent proliferation. AgentWorks sells one control plane for agent sprawl, which is adorable until the enterprise discovers it has merely centralized the mess and the bill. Story 9. AI's performance gap between tests and real use cases. Researchers and operators find AI that scores well on benchmarks fails in real deployments, raising operational costs and distorting ROI, since real-world data shifts and integration gaps undermine predictions. Deployments break when models face live traffic, messy integrations, and shifting inputs that benchmarks never include. Teams then need extra monitoring, fallback rules, and human review to keep outputs usable. Benchmarks look great until integration and data drift turns smart software into a cost center that flatters ROI decks and fails operators. Story 10. Probably raises $9 million to build a more reliable kind of AI. Aiming to cut user-facing hallucinations, the team targets about $9 million in funding to build AI that routes answers through reliability checks, so accuracy approaches deterministic systems rather than best-effort text generation. The startup is building a verification layer that checks responses before they reach users, aiming to make outputs dependable enough for operational workflows. That pitch targets buyers who need fewer hallucinations than general-purpose chat systems can provide. $9 million to sell deterministic AI is a clean admission that hallucinations are the business problem, not a charming edge case. Story 11. Databricks CEO says he's cracked a 40-year-old database problem with LTAP. At the 2026 Data Plus AI Summit, Databricks CEO Ali Ghodsi unveiled LTAP to collapse the 40-year OLTP-OLAP unification gap by combining transaction and analytics processing in one architecture. LTAP is meant to let one system handle live transactions and analytics without moving data between separate databases. Databricks is pitching it as a way to simplify architecture for teams that currently duplicate pipelines and storage. Declaring a 40-year database problem cracked at a summit is classic Databricks. One acronym, LTAP, and a lot of architectural ambition. Story 12. Crafter Software announces Crafter CMS AI, the open-source agentic CMS for the enterprise. Crafter Software released Crafter CMS AI, unifying Spring AI, vector search, AI skills, MCP integrations, and AI-assisted authoring to help enterprise teams build agentic content workflows with developer tools. The release packages agent orchestration into the CMS so editors and developers can connect content operations to retrieval, tools, and workflows in one stack. It also keeps the platform open source, letting enterprises extend AI features without moving off Crafter CMS. A grab bag of Spring AI, vector search, MCP, and authoring tools is enterprise bingo. The real sell is workflow lock-in, not some magical agentic CMS. That is the briefing for today.